Hello, America, and to our friends around the world, greetings. The link to this article is in the description, as you may have already noticed in previous videos. This is done to archive the original source material. That way, if there's any question, you can verify for yourself what was published. It's also not only a great self-check for how I present this information, but also against the originator of the piece, in case they may be tempted to rewrite history. I think there's a word for that, lying. But I'm not implying that in this case or any of the previous cases. Just something that is to be known, be aware of, and as a motivation for archiving. Taro Warwick of the Styx Hexenhammer 666 is where I learned this form of citation. I'm appreciative of his continued leadership efforts to better educate all of us. Let's continue. Andrew Breitbart had said, and it's been often repeated, that politics is downstream of culture. It's also been said that politics is theater for ugly people and people without talent of their own. Whether these statements are true or not, I'll let you be the judge. Often, there are arguments about those who have any level of power within culture that they should stay out of politics, stay in their lane, as it were. Though, the exception quite often is unless they advocate for your agenda. What has been overlooked is the symbiotic nature. You cannot have political power without a community group willing to surrender that power to the few who seek it. You cannot have a community group without a shared culture. Therefore, without culture, you cannot have political power. Finally, if culture isn't influential, corporations wouldn't be spending large sums of money to hire one cultural influencer to promote their product. And when a mass culture inserts itself into a society with already fractured cultural cohesion and receives financial gain, 3 February 2024, 50 Cent slams New York City's plan to give $53 million in prepaid debit cards to migrants to use in bodegas as he demands Mayor Adams calls him and explains how it will work and says, maybe Trump is the answer. Rapper 50 Cent took to Instagram on Saturday to hit out at the New York City scheme for migrants to be handed prepaid cards for food. Mayor Eric Adams estimated it will save $600,000 a month or $7.2 million annually, as it will stop wasting money on meals the asylum seekers do not want. The pilot program is being rolled out at the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan with 500 families involved. By Kamal Sultan, DailyMail.com. Rapper 50 Cent has slammed New York City's plan to hand out prepaid cards worth a combined $53 million to migrants to use at bodegas, supermarkets, and delis. Mayor Eric Adams estimated the scheme will save the city $600,000 a month or $7.2 million annually, as it will stop wasting money on meals the asylum seekers do not want. The pilot program is being rolled out at the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan with 500 families involved, the New York Post reported. A family of 4 will get a card loaded with $1,000 a month, equivalent to $35 a day. But 50 Cent took to Instagram on Saturday to hit out at the scheme and suggested Donald Trump is the answer to the city's problems. The rapper shared a post on Instagram about the plan to hand out prepaid cards for migrants to buy food and baby supplies. WTF, Mayor Adams, call my phone, he wrote. I don't understand how this works. Somebody explain this. I'm stuck. Maybe Trump is the answer. It comes after the artist, who was born in New York City, questioned why migrants were being handed free health care in California. I don't understand this. This is going to cost $2.6 billion for taxpayers, he said on January 3. They don't even give veterans health insurance. At Ari Milber, call my phone now. Help me understand this. WTF. The New York City program will see those selected will be given cards which can only be used at bodegas, supermarkets, and delis. Migrants must sign an affidavit promising to only use the cards for food and baby supplies or else have them cut off. It is unclear how the City of New York will know if they're just being used in bodegas as intended. The amount on each card will depend on individual circumstances. It is unclear how city officials will check if cards are being abused, and if the scheme will worsen the crisis by encouraging other migrants to head to the Big Apple in the hopes of receiving free money. A family of four could be provided nearly $1,000 each month, which is $35 per day for food for the four. At present, each migrant meal costs $11, so feeding a family of four for a day could cost up to $132. Cards will get refilled every 28 days. The scheme was used last year for residents of public housing so they could buy food for the holidays. Not only will this provide families with the ability to purchase fresh food for their culturally relevant diets and the baby supplies of their choosing, but the pilot program is expected to save New York City more than $600,000 per month or more than $7.2 million annually, said Kayla Mamalek, Adams' spokesperson. The program is being run by a company founded by a former Wall Street financier, Wool Coaxum, called Mocafy. Its website describes Mocafy as a financial services platform for the 110 million Americans dealing with economic hardship and no path to a better circumstance. Coaxum said Mocafy looks forward to partnering with New York City to disperse funds for asylum seekers to purchase fresh, hot food. Mocafy's goal is to expand access to financial resources for individuals excluded from banking, such as asylum seekers, while helping the local economy. If the program is a success, the city will expand it to the estimated 15,000 migrant families staying in hotels. Around 70,000 migrants have been bused or flown to New York City over the past year, putting extreme pressure on the Big Apple's resources. Texas conservative Governor Greg Abbott began sending migrants to New York City and other Democrat-run cities, which bill themselves as sanctuaries for border crossers, to show them just how much pressure the crisis has piled on border states. His plan appears to have worked, with Democrat lawmakers now taking a far tougher stance on the crisis and President Biden himself vowing to take stronger steps to tackle it. After going through the entirety of that, I've included additional links. These various locations, such as New York City, virtue signaling to the world their sanctuary status, has brought this upon themselves. They sold a false promise to these people, not expecting Florida and Texas or any other region hardest hit to call them out on their lies about being a sanctuary location. Within the article, they cite an influx of only 70,000 over the course of this last year for New York City. Nearly 2.5 million migrants at the southern border in fiscal year 2023. Of those, 49.6% were crossing at Texas. That means New York, who virtue signals to all they're a sanctuary, is crying over having less than 10% of what Texas is having to deal with annually. Mayor Adams and everyone who voted for him. To paraphrase Christian Bale to Liam Neeson at the climax of Batman Begins, I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you either.